Today, as we're talking with you about anything that's important to you, we see our greatest advantage to you to coax you into the vortex. One thing you'll notice about us and about your own inner being is that we won't come out of the vortex where you are, ever. In fact, that's why you have negative emotion. If we would come out and complain with you, your complaint would feel blissful because there would be no separation. But since your inner being does not come out and complain with you, Esther can drag Jerry over there. Jerry can drag Esther over there. In other words, you can drag each other over there. And if they don't come easily, you get really feisty with them. You say, "You're not supporting me. I think you should support me. How come you're never there for me? How come you're never there for me?" And the correct answer to that question is because I'm over here in the vortex for me. Because if I come over there out of my vortex for you, I'm worthless to you. We can just bang over here together in misery, which justifies that until death do us part stuff that we, no matter how miserable we are, we'll stay together. But the source within you will not come out of the vortex when you are focused upon something that activates within you something different than you are. You are a lover. And when you hate, you're separating yourself from who you are. Separation's too strong a word because you cannot ever sever yourself from that. And sometimes you think you would like to. In other words, when you are really vibrating in opposition to who you are, it feels miserable. But you only have one option to close that gap. You only have one option if you want to feel better, and that is find the best feeling thought. Adjust your vibration. Adjust your vibration, which means adjust your thought, which means adjust your belief, which means adjust your vibration, which means stop the resistance. And when you stop the resistance, you will become a cooperative component. And when you're a cooperative component, you'll be drawn in just like all of the other cooperative components, and you'll live happily ever after. Until the next contrasting thing throws you out of the vortex. But no problem. Once you get out, it's no problem because you know how to get back in. And you know, also, we want you to remember that there are 3 steps to the creative process. Step 1 says, contrast will cause you to ask. That's normal. That's why you came forth. You said, I will expose myself to contrast so that I can define with greater clarity desires in this leading edge time-space reality. That really is what you said. So step 1 is important to the creative process. Just don't make a career of being in step 1. Let the contrast help you take step 1, and source will take step 2. Your inner being, source, law of attraction will gather together all cooperative components. Step 2 is not your work. When you ask, it is answered, it is given, it is done. But step 3 is your work. And step 3 is you got to get in the vortex. You got to find some way of thinking thoughts that let you come into vibrational proximity of this vortex of creation. And when you do, when you get in that vortex, it will all have been worth it. And then when we say, are you enjoying the contrast of your time and place? You will say, yes. It's just like I knew it would be. It inspires me all day, every day to greater expansion. And now I know about my emotional guidance system, and now I've learned to focus my own mind. I don't stay focused long on things that bother me. But I'm not bothered by being bothered, because every time I feel negative emotion, I say to myself, oh, good, I'm having a step 1 moment. That means source is on the improvement of my life experience. But I'm no longer making a career out of the step 1 moment. I'm getting myself into the vortex, into the vortex, into the vortex as quickly as possible. Good. Now you know everything that is important to know about who you are, where you came from, why you're here, what's it all about. You have some things you want to talk about? Yes? Begin here. Yes. It is our promise to you, you did not come to struggle and suffer, but you did come to focus, which means diversity serves you extremely well. But the key is, once you know what you don't want, which helps you to clarify what you do want, give your undivided attention to that. And as you, all day, every day, are determined to get into this vortex, It is our promise to you that you'll get in and you'll get in and you'll get in. And sure, the vortex is going to spit you out. Because you don't have the ability to get in there and think only pure thoughts about everything. You're a creator. You're a sifter. You're a sorter. You're a diversified person exploring contrast, and it is the most normal thing in the world for you to get in and the vortex to spit you out. But you meant to spend way more time in this vortex than you are being in this vortex. It was your plan to be mostly in there and occasionally out, and we got to tell you, you've been out of the vortex long enough to create enough in the vortex work for 20 or 30 lifetimes. In other words, you really don't owe it to anybody to get out there and struggle yourself into clarity. We think you know what you want. You know what you want. So, vibrationally speaking and emotionally speaking, this doorway to this vortex, this vibrational state of being, on the emotional scale is somewhere between hope and belief. In other words, if you are in despair or anger or revenge, you're nowhere near the vortex. And even though who you really are is in there and law of attraction is calling you home, you've got enough resistance going that you're not going easily. And that's what negative emotion is. Did you get that? Negative emotion is the larger part of you calling you, pulling you, but because of your resistant stance, you're not going easily. Oh, you're going. Because when you croak, in you go. You're going. You're just not going easily. And the fact that you're not going easily is why you have those hurtful, painful emotions that can even turn into illness. Resistance is only and always, only ever about, did we put enough in that to make you only ever, always, always ever, only, always, ever. Resistance is only, always, ever, eternally about, it's only ever about you having a vibration that doesn't match what's in there. So you hold yourself out with your own thoughts, which means nobody else, not the economy, not the government, not the other political party, not the other religious groups, not the opponent on the football field, nobody, not ever, is the reason that you are not having the success that you want. Because no one can keep you out of your vortex but you. Unless you want to say, oh, they were there and I saw them. And because I saw them, I didn't allow myself into the vortex. So they really should be different because I might see them again. I don't have the ability to focus. I just look around everywhere. And I might see something that might hold me out of the vortex. So it seems to me that the best plan of action, this is what humans say, seems to me that the best plan of action would be for us to all get together and decide what the perfect one way of life is, and then we'll just make everybody be it, and then it'll be a lot easier. And we say, how is that working out? There has to be some logic that lets you know that if you need even one other person to be different so that you can get in the vortex and be a match to what you're asking for, you're going about it in the wrong way because you can't make them focus long enough. Do you have a teenager? You can't get them to hold you as their dominant intent. Isn't it, or wasn't it, maybe not for you, but many of you feel shocked that others would have the nerve to care about their life more than yours. I don't think that guy's giving me the best deal he could give me on this purchase. It's like he doesn't even care about me. And when you finally accept that every person on the planet is selfishly oriented, every person on the planet is making their way to their own vortex, and all you've got to do is find a thought that lets you in. Think about the alternative. So you get up in the morning and you really don't want to go to work, but that's the way you make your money for now. So you think, well, in a perfect world, I'd fix that. So I wouldn't go to work. I'd just have my own money coming somehow. And in order to do that, I've got to have a really good idea. So I need to get on the internet and I need to explore all of the ideas and decide what's a really good idea for me. And then I'm really not prepared to do that. I don't have the equipment and I don't have the money to get the equipment, but I'll find some grant. I'll find some way. I'll find somebody that will give me the money so that I can get the equipment so that I can create my own business. And then I'll I'll do as much as I can, but then I might need some employees. And they'll have to come to work. I'm having a hard time working this out because I'm doing this whole thing because I don't want to work. So they probably won't want to work either. So I'll get back on the internet and I'll find those who want to work. That's what I'll do. I'll find those who want to work, and I'll create a business that will be big enough that then they can come and they can work. And we say, or you could just get in the vortex. You could just get in the vortex. You could just find a way of finding a thought that doesn't feel uncomfortable and let the universe who has much better than a Google search engine, who has access to every vibration on the planet, who knows who everyone is, where everyone is, exactly what their vibration is, who will perfectly match you with everything that you have put into your vortex of creation, where law of attraction has already assembled all cooperative components. So the question that we want to put to you is, are you a cooperative component to your own desire? And the answer is usually not. The answer is, if you're feeling elation, yes. But if you're feeling frustration or overwhelmment, or if you're worried, then you are not a vibrational match. You are not a cooperative component to your own creation, to your own vortex. So here's the thing that we want to sort of lay out there for you to bubble in the air as we are moving forward today. Because if you can reconcile this, then all of this will come together easily for you. We just want to ask you this one simple question. Is it easier for you to control the behavior of a substantial number of people and circumstances and events in order to give you something that you can look at that will take you